the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We are live in downtown Las Vegas. Circa Resort Casino is the spot. Fun, action-packed 3-hour program lined up today. Nick Bogdanovich, college basketball with him at that point. Longtime Vegas oddsmaker, sports gambling Hall of Famer. We'll get his thoughts, numbers on the games, projected maybe national title numbers as well. Seth Greenberg, ESPN in an hour. His thoughts and analysis on the two matchups. Adam Burke, Pauly, another tournament started today, The Crown. There's one game underway out here in Las Vegas, 3 more to come up this afternoon. He's got bets on that. We have I Don't Want to Overreact, but, and also the good, the bad, and the ugly from the weekend as well.
Good job to you. Great job. You called it. Greg Peterson called it. I remember when we were in here that Sunday when the brackets were unveiled that Peterson said he's picking of all 4-1 seeds, and then you just said there's a big gap between the 4-1 seeds and everyone else. Certainly it was a test for Florida with 2 close games and the miracle against Texas Tech. But for the second time ever, second time in 40 years, all 4-1 seeds do it, and it's been nothing but chalk here going back. The incredible numbers from Evan Abrams. 32-2 straight up, Lane, more than 6.
Wow.
62-3 straight up combined if you count SEC, Big 12, Big 10, and Big East tournaments. It's nuts.
Crazy.
Good job. Good job.
You know what? I'm not even take credit for it because I said on the air that, first of all, I never considered thinking like this. I never even once thought in my life of betting this or putting together a bracket like that. Because it's always been like, come on, that's not going to happen. We're not going to get 4 number 1 seeds. And I said on the air back in 2008, guys like Jay Billis, Dick Vitale were on ESPN the Sunday night, Selection Sunday, and they said all 4-1s are going to make it. I mocked them. I'm like, come on, guys, knock it off. It's never going to happen. They were right. And this year, I just said, and it wasn't even a handicap. I looked at the numbers at these websites like Ken Palm and Bart Torvik and the tiers and the separation between the top 4 teams that made the Final Four and everybody else. They, like Tennessee and Bama were behind the top 4, and then it was a massive drop-off. And I said on the air, like on Sunday or Monday, I'm like, this is not even a handicap. It's just like these numbers, they stick out like a sore thumb. They're that much better than the rest of the field. So I had to bet it that way. And it happened to come in. Was it easy? No. I mean, Florida was heart attack central for me on Saturday.
Yeah. Epic collapse, Texas Tech, no doubt.
What are you?
In 2008, the only other time it's happened, that tournament was crazy, though. Siena won. I think they were a 13. San Diego, Toreros beat UConn. Steph Curry and Davidson, 1 shot away from going to the Final Four. They were a 10 seed.
They almost beat the champs that year. Kansas.
Yes. Western Kentucky was a 12. They went to the Sweet 16.
Didn't they play 13? Wasn't it 12-13 in that year in the tournament?
Yes. And then they lost to UCLA in the Sweet 16. But this, even though you get all the 1 seeds, in 08, it was madness. This, no madness. Well, favorites have won 14 in a row since Ole Miss beat Iowa State.
Wow. I was at that Final Four. The only Final Four I've ever been to my entire life. It was not a good Final Four. We were saved by the national title game in the 3-point shot by Mario Chalmers and Calipari refusing to foul up by 3 and saying that his guys are going to hit free throws when it matters most. And they clearly did not. On that Saturday, I watched Kansas beat North Carolina 84-66. I think at one point it was 42-18. And Carolina had to do whatever they could to get back into the game. And the other game was a complete blowout. Memphis killed UCLA 78-63. So that year, again, the only other time we've had 4 number 1 seeds, they were not competitive games. Hopefully, after what we had to put up, we always use that analogy because I think it's apropos for sports betting and sports in general. We're all Andy Dufresne here. Mm-hmm. We had to walk or drag ourselves through 500 yards of you-know-what to get to the end, and hopefully now we're going to be rewarded with a great payoff on Saturday. There's no guarantee, though. I hope this is like meeting Red and Zihuatanejo.
That's right.
Hopefully that's the feeling that we have come Saturday night.
See, I'm on, not a lot of people agree with me. I think Houston's up against it. Now, Seth Greenberg coming up, how much of an advantage and an edge do they get with the game close to home and Sampson's experience and the number 1 defense by a mile? It's great. Number 1 defense against a number 1 offense. But can they score enough to beat Duke? I say no. And then the Auburn thing is Broom healthy. Like Ian Eagle's right. He read his lips. He told his teammates, I'm done. Can't move his arm. Then he comes back.
Didn't you think he was done?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about the first rebound? He never considered grabbing it with the right hand.
But then he got the ball and he passed it. He's holding the one arm like this, and he passed the ball. It was almost stolen.
It's like this, tied to his chest almost, and torso. Like he didn't want to move it whatsoever. But when they showed that over and over and over again in slow motion, did you not think that was the ultimate, most random double whammy we've ever seen? I thought the knee hyperextended, minimum, and then the way he came down like on the wrist and the elbow, it looked like a possible double hyperextension, which I don't think I've ever seen in sports before. Mm-hmm. And his parents are crying. He goes to meet his parents. I mean, it's just, he tells everybody he's done. You're exactly right. And he comes back, and the first three that he attempts, it goes in nothing but net. So
I would say if you rank these teams right now, Florida's fourth. Is that fair? Between the turnovers?
I don't know, because we all said that Auburn was like the weakest one seed coming into it, right?
Yeah.
Although I will say this. If these two teams met on a neutral before the tournament started, there's no way Florida's a 2.5 or a 3-point favorite. That's much closer to a pick 'em, right? Yeah, and they almost lost to UConn. They should have lost to Texas Tech. And isn't it weird the way, and it should be predictable, right? Texas Tech against St. John's, they were horrendous for 35 minutes. They came out and they were the better team against Florida out of the gates, couldn't miss. And then for most of that game until the final 3 minutes when they lost their minds, they couldn't hit the front end of free throws. Right. And then Florida just made everything. And the other example would be Alabama against Duke.
Yes, right.
It was in their heads how every shot went in against BYU. Why'd they play that game? Why did they have the wrong guys shooting threes from start to finish against Duke?
That was impressive, no doubt. What Duke did to take them out, no problem. And how talented they are, and they can get anything they want offensively. You're right about what Alabama was running. People losing their minds. What's Lanier doing? Pass the ball, please. Another three from way out. Short, right away in the shot clock. It's like, it's not your night. Pass the ball. Tennessee lost their minds in one of the worst halves in tournament history. And certainly Houston has a lot to do with that, but the shot selection was atrocious. Yeah. But I know you have all the numbers there as well, and what Torvik thinks, and he has Houston number one, but you go back, and I tweeted this, since the loss to San Diego State late November, they are 30-1. The loss was by 1 point to Texas Tech. Yeah. How good is this team? Yeah. So essentially they went 22-1 against the Big 12, a hell of a league. And what they did. And they had their one close call in their bad game, I guess, was Purdue with what happened. But you give up 56 points per game in the tournament, and now you're going against Duke? I don't think they have enough offensive firepower, but there's a lot of people picking Houston in this game.
That's all I've heard so far for the most part, grabbing the points. And I'm looking at the projection sites right now. I'll use three of them. Ken Pom, Bart Torvik, Eric Haslam. They all have it a one-possession game. Ken Pom has Duke 68-66. Torvik has Houston 65-64. Haslam has Duke by a half a point, played in the mid-60s. And now it's up to 5 here at Circa. I think if you want to bet Houston in this game, the way that you just have to wait, right? Because this might touch 5.5. There's going to be I think there's eventually going to be a lot of Duke money here, especially from the public. Now, will that outweigh the sharps? Probably not, but it is the Final Four, and Duke is, the most public team in all of college basketball. Watching the Alabama game, to me, this is where in my head I agree with you, and Houston's better than Alabama based on numbers. But Alabama has dudes all over the court, right? They have talent, athleticism, they're lengthy, and Duke was a matchup problem for them almost everywhere on the court. I mean, Duke is they have everything. They're super athletic. They are so long, it's scary. When they're longer than a team like Alabama and they make it a problem at all 5 spots for the Crimson Tide, yeah, that's probably going to be an issue for every other team in the tournament. I know Houston's much better defensively than Alabama is, but you couple that with the passing, the shot making, the guys who are just like automatic when they're open, Proctor, Knaple, Cooper Flagg's the best player in the country probably. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is a recipe for good luck. Even money to me right now for Duke to win the national title, I don't hate it. And I'll tell you why I would not say Florida's number 4 right now. I think the basketball IQ on Auburn at times will lose them a basketball game.
Very good. That should have been a blowout yesterday. Broom is unstoppable. Get him the ball.
Thank you.
Stop jacking threes. Every 17 and 11 at halftime. What are you doing?
Michigan State had no answer for him. It was clear as day to anybody watching, evidently, but his teammates or the coaching staff.
Yep.
It was driving me insane in the first half.
Yep. It was ridiculous. Good call. Is it ever going to happen for the Big Ten? It's 25 years now.
What do you make of? Let me answer your question with a question. What do you make of how people treat Izzo like he's God?
Well, I mean, he has great numbers, and to be 14 wins when down at halftime, 10-1 against
one title
the SEC.
in 25 years.
Yeah, well, Boeheim, that's another one.
It's tough to win a title. I get that.
I know it is hard. Boeheim, I thought flopped. What did Boeheim? How many Final Fours did Boeheim get to in 40 years?
Right.
So, I think he's an excellent coach, but I think it just shows how hard it is. But that's always the comeback. All the Elite Eights, the Final Fours. How many titles do you have, right?
Isn't the same?
But it's come on, man. I mean, you run college football. What's going on in basketball? I haven't won in 25 years.
Sure. They run college football.
Well, 2 years in a row, baby.
I love it. Isn't Michigan State the same team every year? They're always missing like one or two guys.
Yeah.
They're close.
Can you get a basket in crunch time?
Yeah, right, exactly.
We know you're going to defend.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it's not like that 2000 team was, I mean, Zach Randolph and Jason Richardson come to mind, Mateen Cleaves. How good of a team was that? Mm-hmm. Loaded to the gills. Mm-hmm. Like they're always just like 1.5, 2 pieces away from really being a serious threat to win the whole thing. They got to start paying players more money, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. I know about how people see Izzo.
Well, they do.
Best coach, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to win, but you need more than that. I think it's part 2 with Boeheim. Tournament might be winding down, but MLB is here. NBA, NHL playoffs around the corner, and the Masters in a couple weeks, and then the draft. Stay ahead of every opportunity. VSiN Pro subscription, just $9.99. Every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits, the MLB season betting guide. Join the team now. The prop analyzer, vsin.com/subscribe, $9.99. Join the team.
MLB betting observations up next. The sport was invented in 1846. You're telling me it took 200 years for someone at MIT to come up with this one? Come on.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, some Major League Baseball observations first weekend of the sport being back. Great to have it back. Are you serious with this Yankee story? You got to be kidding me.
I can't get enough of it.
Paul, the sport was invented in 1846. You're telling me it took some, quote, MIT genius to figure out in 2025, hey, wait a second, I can come up with something and call it a torpedo barrel where it brings more wood and mass?
I prefer bowling pin.
Bowling pin's probably better.
I like the bowling pin.
The bowling pin?
They prefer torpedo. Better sounding name. I like the bowling pin.
Are you buying this?
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought of this. And it's in the rules. And it was there open for anybody to say, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we tinker with the bat a little bit?
The rule, 3.02. The bat shall be a smooth, round stick, not more than 2.61 inches in diameter at the thickest part, and not more than 42 inches in length. The bat shall be one piece of solid wood. No laminated or experimental bat should be used in a pro game until the manufacturer has secured approval from MLB of its design and methods of the manufacturer. And this guy, the MIT physicist, to say, if you ask the right questions and there's forward thinking, you can get this innovation. You're going to have copycats. No, it's not illegal, but it looks funny. And guess what? They set the record in the first 3 games. I was watching the game Saturday. What is going on? Home run, home run, home run. Another one later in the first, and then they left Cortez in the second for some reason, and they hit 9 home runs and almost set the record in a game. But Jake Peavy, former pitcher, compared it to getting fitted for a golf club. And I don't know if you think that's a good analogy.
Boy.
Brian Kenny, MLB.
So what, the head of the golf club, you put it like the sweet spot where you're going to hit the ball more often. I'm not a good golfer. I have no idea. Is that what it would be? You can load up more in the middle. I don't know.
The bat with a torpedo-like shape, custom made to player preferences and designed so that the densest part of the bat is where that particular hitter most often makes contact with the baseball. People back in the day swung very heavy bats made out of hickory, and then someone had this genius idea to swing something lighter, something like ash, and that was big in the 20s and 30s. A player for the Minnesota Twins. Every year, someone comes up with a new pitch, and every advantage has favored the pitchers. Now, after using the same broomstick for 100 years, we're doing this now, and forward thinking and innovation in what we're doing. Now, will it take off? Maybe. There are players for 8 different teams that are using the bowling pin, Aaron Judge, of course, says, no, I'm good. The results speak for itself.
Yeah, he's
How about
not
you
lying.
do it in October? I saw your tweet.
Oh, yeah.
You're great. I mean, come on. Do something in October.
Okay, so here's a contrarian take on this for 1 second. Or could it be that the Milwaukee Brewers are the worst team in baseball? They trail Kansas City right now 5-0 in the 7th. Is it possible they're just god-awful and Cortez is completely shot?
No, there's something here, though. There's something here.
Yeah, I want to buy it. Yeah,
absolutely.
I have to be honest. It bothers me that this MIT guy is going to get total credit for this when, let's be honest here, if anybody had like the rule book, a high school dropout could have figured this out. Right? Paul, come on.
It's Costanza.
This is the most obvious thing in the history of the sport. You're telling me this was legal again, and nobody once thought, let's tinker with the bat a little bit here and see what we can come up with. I think it's completely asinine.
Here's Jazz Chisholm, who hit a home run about, I thought it would work for me, and what he said about the new bowling pin bats.
Oh, I love my bat. You know what I mean? I think you can tell. It's working pretty well for me, but I mean, it doesn't feel like a different bat. It just helps you in a little way, I guess.
When did it get on your radar?
I started using it the last week and a half of spring, I think. And I mean, I just never looked back after that. I mean, it still felt like my bat. It feels good. Hit the ball off the barrel. Feel comfortable in the box. You know. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know the science of it. I just play baseball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's smiling from year to year because what does he have? 9 home runs on the year already, too? I think everybody for the Yankees has like 9 home runs.
Thanks to the Yes Network. The guy invented the torpedo barrel. It brings more wood and mass to where you most often make contact as a hitter. The idea is to increase the number of barrels and decrease misses.
Sure.
And apparently a lot of guys weren't buying in, but then when he sat down in front of them and explained it to him, a lot of guys caught on and said, okay, yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. And I think Bellinger was one of them who was late to accept it, but he joined in as well. And as I said earlier, Judge is still doing what he's doing when it worked. Other than October, he's great. But, I mean, this is... Now, the best part is, they're cheating, it's illegal, all this other stuff, and now we're going to see the copycats, too.
Yeah,
if this continues to work,
of course,
the Dodgers are appointment viewing, and now so are the Yankees. Will this continue? Home run derby, how many are they going to hit with the bowling pin?
Maybe it was a weekend fluke to begin the year. Who knows? I kind of hope it's not. I saw a great tweet on this from Andy Molitor, who's in the gambling space as well. He said this is going to be the new LeBron. LeBron to score 10 points, the Yankees team total over.
That's right. That's right.
So, well, they had four the first game, so great job by Peralta. But after that, 20-12. Now, they do have the Diamondbacks coming up, starting a 3-game set tomorrow. They're going to get scheduled starters here for Arizona. Burns, Gallen, and Merrill Kelly. I have to point out, it's short sample sizes. All 3 pitchers have good career numbers against the Yankees. Will it last at Yankee Stadium? I hope they hit about 14 home runs in the series again. Mm-hmm. What a story this is. I mean,
if that continues, people are going to say change the rules or get rid of the bat.
They're going to get rid of the bat probably.
Yeah. I mean, they tied the record for most home runs to start 3 games, and they almost break the record, hit 9 in 1 game. I
mean, my prediction would be if let's say end of May, let's say they have 6 guys with double-digit home runs, whatever the number might be. Judge has 26. And he's threatening the all-time record. It's going to be like, and he doesn't even use it. They're going to be like, yeah, we're going to step in here. Something's got to happen. This is totally unfair. Mm-hmm. But again, you read it. I have the rules right in front of me as well. Uh-huh. They're like, this is in the parameters of the rule book, so it's all on the up and up here.
Yeah, right. Just looks funny.
Yeah.
I think of George Brett with the pine tar when they kicked, took away the home run at Yankee Stadium. But the cork bat, we've seen Billy Hatcher, Sammy Sosa, that stuff. But I mean, it just looks unusual. But it works, and the MIT guy getting it done.
I'll give you another strong observation here. The Mariners games, it might not be must-watch TV. It's probably going to be look away because they're so hideous, especially at home. The scores in their games over the weekend against the A's, 4-2, 7-0, 4-2, and 2-1. The first 5 scores, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, and 1-0. The first 3 scores, Pauly, first 3 innings, which you can bet this now at several books. 3 games were scoreless after 3 innings. 1 game was 1-0. Today's total first 3 innings is 2.5.
And I forgot to mention it Friday. Last year, they were a joke against lefties, and guess what Springs did to them? 3 of the 4 A starters went over the K-prop. Tomorrow, April Fool's Day,
It's Casey Mize versus Logan Gilbert. The next day, School gets Castillo at home. What's that total? 5.5? On Masters Sunday, the Mariners host the Rangers. Right now, Logan Gilbert would be slated to go. Can we please get Jacob deGrom in that game? I want to see a total of 4. And I want to see a first 5 total of 1. Because Gilbert, he was brilliant in his first start, and they cannot hit a lick.
What if Seattle plays Atlanta? The Braves haven't scored in 22 innings.
Wow.
They're 1 of 22 with runners in scoring position.
That is absolutely something. So the total, I think, opened up at 8 some spots, now down to 7 here at Circa.
Yeah.
It's Emerson Hancock for Seattle, Jackson Jobe, and the Tigers. Hancock, career games at home, 9 games, 3.42 ERA. The FIP is higher, but he's much better at home than he is on the road. And Jobe is his phenom for the Tigers, making his first start today. I'm
excited to see that kid. Yep. A lot of weird starts, right? Devers sets the record. Luke, does he have a hit yet? Devers is 0 for 17. He came into the game 0 of 16 with 12 strikeouts.
A dozen Ks, yep.
The Twins are getting pounded again.
And they moved.
They took 35-cent move, right?
Yeah.
Like 9-0 White Sox. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Unbelievable.
0 for 19 then?
So he's 0 for 18 on the season.
Okay. Your guy Paddock going today for the Twins.
Yeah, of course. Shouldn't be in the league. Boston led for 1 inning the entire Texas series.
Bad start there.
Yep. Lindor's slow start. Marlins in first place alone. First time since 2014.
I have some really good stolen base nuggets a little bit later on in the show. And highest strikeout rates in baseball over the weekend. The Nats, 34.5%. Helps when Luzardo struck out 11 over 5. Tigers, 31.1%. Again, Tigers get the Mariners this week. Mariners, 30.4%. Rockies, 29.2%. Freeland, Sensentala, and Feltner all had at least 7 Ks and went over their prop over the weekend. And the Red Sox, 27.8%. And that was actually, that was against the Rays, I believe. Yeah, against the Rays. I think I had that backwards. The lowest K rates in baseball, when you're looking at K props, the Guardians, 13.7%. All 3 Royal starters stayed under the K prop to begin the season. D-backs, 14.7%. Rangers, 15%. 3 of the Cubs starters, 3 of the Red Sox starters stayed under their K prop to begin the year.
Cubs pen has allowed 22 earned runs, I think. Something ridiculous.
Oh, they just...
It's absurd. They blew 3 games.
Council left the one guy in to give up 8 runs the other day.
My God. Want to know where the money's really going? Unlike other sources, our betting splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings. Circa takes huge bets from pro bettors, and DraftKings provides a broader market perspective. Get the real action, not just the public money, but the kind of wagers that move lines. VSiN, exclusive betting splits as little as $9.99 for your first month. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Nick Bogdanovich next. What do his numbers look like compared to the rest of the betting market for the Final Four? We'll ask him coming up.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. We are live downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. It's where our next guest, first guest of the show today, has been now for a handful of years. Longtime Vegas oddsmaker, sports gambling Hall of Famer Nick Bogdanovich joins the program now. Good to see you as always. How are you?
Doing great, fellas.
Did the light shutter at all this weekend from all these favorites getting home?
Yeah. No, yeah, the bookmakers will be crying a river right now. So, no, but that's just the way this thing goes. You run in streaks. Sometimes the players are hot. Sometimes the book is hot, but right now the players are having their fun.
All like money line parlays, laying them straight, games, game by game, everything?
Well, money line parlays the main culprit, but there's still the point spread and in play and everything else that goes in with it. So, I mean, not obviously the 4-1s getting through is the big story, but along the way, the 2s, 3s, and 4s made their way to the very end as well.
Yes, yeah. I think I said this earlier, and I told you during the break. If you take the SEC, Big 12, Big 10, and Big East tournaments and combine them with the actual NC2A tournament, favorites of 6 or more are 62-3 straight up.
Yeah.
Come on.
It makes for some great games down the stretch, though. I mean, we saw some quality games over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, and the 3 coming up, you can't ask for better games. No, at least that's the flip side of it.
Yeah, right. In theory, we should get rewarded this weekend in terms of drama and entertainment.
Yeah, no, it's the highest quality play there is. I mean, Duke's playing at a level right now that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably Houston's best version, and we know how good they've been for the last 5 or 6 years. And Florida's incredible with maybe the best player in America right now, Walter Clayton. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend.
What's Duke, Florida now? What if that's a title game?
You know, my power rating calls for Duke to be 2.5 over Florida, but it's going to come higher. I mean, because Duke's just off the charts right now. Like this game today, Duke is 5 over Houston. I got Houston and Florida the same. So, you know, I only made the Duke-Houston game 2.5 and the game's 5. So there's no number high enough for Duke right now.
No, especially if they win, cover, look impressive yet again. And if Florida has to survive a miracle, or whichever team in that other matchup, right? And it's a close game and one team makes a big comeback or whatever to win the game, they probably will be 5 again in the national title game.
Yeah, no doubt. That's just the way it is.
Is Houston getting disrespected? 30-1 since December 1st. The loss was by 1 point to Texas Tech.
I hope they get disrespected even more. I'd like to take 6. So
Okay.
it's all 5, and there's a couple 5.5s out there. So I hope they keep getting disrespected. If no big groups coming in on Houston and brings it back down, I think the public you might see a 6.
Yeah. Well, what can Houston do? Because Alabama offensively, I think the worst thing that happened to that team was the BYU performance, where they had it in their head they're just going to go out there and make 100 threes again, and that's how they're going to beat Duke, and it was never a recipe for success. So Houston obviously is a much better team on defense than Alabama is, but Bama's offense was so good. How can Houston match Duke point for point? I think that's what Pauly was trying to question earlier in the show.
I think Houston, their system is their system, and they'll bring it on, and if it's good enough, it's good enough. They won't change because they are who they are. I mean, Sampson is. Every one of his teams at Houston has been this way. And you look at some of his Oklahoma and Indiana teams, they weren't like this. For whatever reason, the Houston blueprint is what you're seeing. And this year they shoot it much better from 3, and they got their guards. I mean, the Sheed kid was shooting them from 28 feet, 30 feet the other day and bombing them. So that's the difference between past Houston teams and this one is their outside shooting's much better. But their defense is off the charts. I think they can slow down this Duke offense that is rated off the charts. I think they can do that.
What's slow down, though?
Well,
I mean, they're giving up 56 a game in the tournament. That's around that for 52 for the season, whatever it is. It's the number 1 defense, number 1 offense, but I don't know.
I think
what's holding Duke in
what
check?
is the number? If you ask Sampson right now, what number would you feel comfortable holding a Duke to that you could beat him? And I think he would have to say, I don't know, 70, right? The low 70s.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Because I think Duke will get theirs against Duke.
Right.
I mean, Houston will get theirs against Duke.
Okay, very good. Are you concerned? That didn't look good for Broom. He says he's ready to go, but then he also told his teammates, I'm done. Then he comes back in later.
Yeah.
And he can't move the arm.
It's been a long year for him because he's been banged up on several different occasions. The good news is they got a whole week for him to get better. How much better can he get? I don't know, but they certainly need him. I know Auburn's deep, but they ain't that deep. I mean, you don't lose one of the top 3 players in America and probably live to tell about it. So, but I think I have a feeling he'll be out on the floor Saturday.
Okay, so you're Hall of Famer. You've been doing this since the mid '80s. How much money changed hands on the old Michigan State, the old Miss 3 rather? To put it on 3, Michigan State was 3.
Obviously it was however much money was bet on that game across America. I mean, millions and millions. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, I was in the Red Rock at the time, and I was walking out the door, and I didn't see the shot, but I heard screaming. So, that's. I don't want to say it's. It probably doesn't crack the top 10 million of bad beats, but the way it ended, it wasn't. If it was just a clean 3, it would have been fine. But the way it wedged against the background and dribbled in is enough to torture any human being. You know what I'm saying?
I can't believe
I mean,
that
you just want to drink. You just want to drink a big thing of something and go to sleep because if he drains the 3, he drains the 3, but not like that.
Right.
I mean,
well said.
But it was a huge swing. I mean, monster swing and. I'm glad I wasn't involved in the game. That I can tell you. But if I was involved, it would have been on Ole Miss, so I would have cut a break.
I do think Ole Miss deserved to cover. I mean, they were covering 99% of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they let that one get away.
They really did.
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss had the goods to beat Auburn too. I mean, I can say it, I can't prove it, but Beard's a hell of a tournament coach. They were awesome in that game. It just fell apart late for them.
Yep. No, that was a hell of a game. One of the few. We didn't have a lot of drama in this tournament. I mean, there's so many games, you expect quite a few of them, but that one, the cash was decided on the very last play. Yeah. You don't see that very often.
And to your point, some of these games, are you surprised? Like, you got to be a little bit. Kentucky never made a run at Tennessee, ever.
Never.
Right? Tennessee never made a run yesterday against Houston. And that happened in how many games this year in the tournament?
A ton. It was a lot of stinkers. I mean, it was like, it hasn't been the most riveting Hollywood-like endings for sure.
Yeah. How was the action on the Crown today?
First game was wild. I mean, we had all sorts of action on that game. Good. So whether that continues, I don't know. Maybe it was because it was an isolated only game at 12 o'clock. Yeah. I mean, all these so-called meaningless games, CBI, CAT, over is baked into the number, and yet they still bet them over even after that. So you're going to see that constantly. These games will all move up a couple points, and if they continue to go over, maybe even more.
Yeah, didn't some of them actually like go up 4, 5, 6, 7 points today?
A lot of them did. Yes. Yeah. Georgetown, Washington State, Nebraska, Arizona State moved 6 points. And a 3-point move in this Utah Butler game, which was 46-42 at halftime.
It was flying over.
I didn't know because you would get time off. Like Nebraska hasn't played in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's
Plus
right.
Guys are out the door.
All sorts of guys missing on every team.
Yeah.
So can the backups score at the rate of these? I mean, Washington State's starting backcourt's out. Central Florida's leading scorer's out. DePaul's down to 8 guys. They're missing 2 or 3 rotation guys. I mean, it's every team. I mean, the portal closes, I think, April 24th. Why wouldn't these kids play and then enter the portal? Do they think they're really...
They can win money here, too, with this tournament.
100%. Why play? You're still going to play.
Yeah. What do you think of the Yankee bats?
The shape of them or how loud they are right now? Yeah, I mean...
Jake Peavy, because you're a golfer. Jake Peavy compared it to getting fitted for a club.
Well...
What do you think?
I got to see more proof, but obviously the wind was blowing out the one day 20 miles an hour the day they hit all those home runs. So maybe it is the bats. Maybe it's a combination of things. I don't know, but I guess we'll find out for sure. I mean, if they're going to do obviously a lot of testing and people try to duplicate, but if there's any truth to it, all 30 teams will have them for sure.
This is from our morning show host, Jensen Lewis. He texted me during the break and he said, this is from our former players via text. Torpedo model has been around for 10 to 15 years. Guys were not really buying into it. It's not technically new, but because of the ridiculous start by the Yankees, it's gathered all the attention.
Yeah.
And the look? Guys are like, yeah, it looks ridiculous kind of.
I love the look.
Right?
What does that mean?
You know what it is? It's the granny free throw. All those years, remember Shaq? Oh, I'm never going to do that. I don't want to look ridiculous. You shoot 40% from the free throw line. What are you talking about? You are ridiculous. Go Granny.
Yeah, if he's true, they've been around for 10 or 15 years, you'd think they'd have tried them extensively in exhibition games and winter league games just to see if it works.
Sure.
So
that's good.
I don't know.
Interesting. Very good. Thank you, Jensen. Get in Circa, the D, Golden Gate. I love it. Get the penthouse. Have the fellas up there, cook some barbecue. CircaLasVegas.com, code VSIN15. Get 15% off thanks to Derek Stevens. CircaLasVegas.com, code VSIN15.
Thanks, Nick. Enjoy the games this weekend. Win, lose up next. Indy, Jeff, Wes Reynolds did it again. Pauly with the details coming up.
Night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
He did it again for the third time in 4 weeks. Indy Jeff Seeley with a winner. And Wes Reynolds. Minwoo Lee, 40-1. Hovland, 50-1. Closed 80 at some books. And Henley, 45-1. Jeff Seeley also had Toasty, top 10, 14-1. And Celinda, top 20, 4-1. Hell of a run.
Pretty good week, I'd say.
Wow.
Pretty good month.
Yeah, 3 times in 4 weeks. You'll be on tomorrow. Women's tournament, TCU plus 350. Men's tournament.
By the way, they're tipping off in 2 hours and 15 minutes against Texas.
I like Texas to win. I don't know if they can cover.
It's 7.5.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a one-man show, though, with Haley.
Van Lith, yeah.
They were good dogs against Notre Dame, even though they were the better seed, right?
Right.
Yep. Men's tournament, Florida, 29 in a row and leading at halftime. SEC, 3rd time ever, 4 Elite 8 teams. Tom Izzo, 14 wins when trailing at halftime, 10-1 against the SEC. The first loss yesterday. Favorites have won 14 in a row in the tournament since Ole Miss upset Iowa State, and it's the first time since 1985 the favorites swept the Sweet 16. I told you about the 32-2 run as well. All these courtesy of 6 points or more. Courtesy of Evan Abrams, who does a great job. Texas Tech, Florida over. 155.5 up to 159.5.
That was late money, too.
Ooh, NBA Pistons, first winning season since 2006. They've tripled up their win total from the previous year.
As a result, their head coach, Bickerstaff, who was tossed out of the game, that was absurd that he got kicked out of the game last night. He is
big move.
Huge move on him. And now Atkinson is down to... He's not even close to like minus $13 anymore to win that award. Dagnall might come out of nowhere and win this thing.
What happened? All of a sudden, you look up and that move.
That West Coast trip for Cleveland did not go well. Yeah. And the Thunder can win 70 games if they win out.
Well, Udoka might get the 2 seed also. That's another one. He's not getting any consideration.
No, yeah.
I guess the comeback is Cavs were the 4 seed last year.
Yeah, the Pistons. I mean, come on.
They had 14 wins last year.
Of course.
I know.
You have to consider that.
It's a great job. The big move on him, yep. Hornets, Pelicans under, 217.5 to 212.5. The top Sixers, they got to keep their pick. From 1.5 up to 6.5, they sat people. The Raptors buried them. Knicks, Blazers under, 224.5 to 220. The Yankees, most home runs, first 3 games of the season in history. And Saturday, second most home runs in a game with 9. Subscribe, be part of the team. vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. Gentleman sent this in. He was down the street here, downtown. I think he was at Binion's, and he sat down and played 50 Cent Ultimate X, and on the first hand, he was dealt quads. No multiplier, but he also said, well, I stayed on it because I thought it would keep paying out, and it did. How about that? First hand on 10 play, dealt a 4 of a kind. Good job, my friend.
Yeah, you got to stay on the machine for a little while longer.
Good job. Excellent. And then Peppermill Tim sent this in. This is good. They're playing a drawing where it's kind of like high-low. Card sharks, right? Where can you complete the royal flush? And he got the wild. He threw away one of the cards and got the royal, and he said he won 20 grand, and there's the picture to prove it. He always sends in big royals that he hits as well. He's a 49er fan. That's a unique way to give back to your customers as well.
I'd like to play in a game like that sometime.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. The X did it one time at Red Rock. They pulled her name out of a hat. She got pulled up. It was high-low, like they play.
Card sharks.
Yeah. Remember the guy at the Laker game? Ace. He didn't know what to do. High.
Yeah.
High.
Higher.
What? No. But it's kind of like that where you got to complete the royal flush, and he got paid. Good job, and thanks for sending it in. Excellent. Lose some Notre Dame women from 4.5 up to 7. Lost outright. Tennessee, Houston over. 121.5 up to 127. 69.50 Houston. Michigan, Auburn over. 151 up to 156. Also no good. Lose some video. We got a compilation here. Oh, this is the dog running in the... Oh, this is great. The dog running in the water fountain. I think he's at the mall or something.
Yeah.
Look at him. How he jumped up there and he's just, okay, this is a great little bath, right? Doing a 360, another 360, running in, people taking pictures. I didn't even know where to begin. He got off the leash, he just jumped up. Where'd he come from, right? He's just hanging out and away we go, running down the fountains.
Having the time of his life.
I know, look at it, coming over, right? Water spilling everywhere, dancing, great time. That's good. A couple bad beats. Texas Tech money line and getting it. Remember, this opened 4.5 at DraftKings.
Yeah.
They're up 9 with less than 3 minutes. They lose the game. 4 straight threes by Florida.
Couldn't miss.
And Texas Tech missed the front end of 2 1-and-1s.
Right.
Huge.
Also, don't forget that the Bama Duke game opened up 161.5. FanDuel. 85-65 final score.
Oh, God.
Remember that? What did that close? 174.5?
Yeah.
So there was another opener. It's like, yeah, guys, I guess our numbers were a little bit better.
I agree with you. It wasn't a bad beat because they had been covering the whole game, but, Michigan State laying 3.5. It's how it went in. The meaningless 3, and then it just bricks, and it just wedges, stays there, and then, okay, it falls in.
Yeah, how often do you see a ball die like that when it hits that part of the rim? And it was odd.
Yeah. And Friday, Tigers plus the 1.5 and under. 3-2 Dodgers in the 9th, 2 outs. They blow it, and then they win in extras with what happened. And it goes over. That's when Mookie hit the walk-off.
That's right.
At the Granny or whatever it was.
Well, I mean, this is... so the Braves are... go ahead. More on this coming up in a minute.
Take your betting to the next level with First Bet. Whether it's Santa Anita, Gulfstream, or the road to the Derby and Preakness, First Bet puts the action at your fingertips. Sign up now, firstbet.com. Promo code VSIN200. Get a 20% rebate on all your wages for the first 60 days up to $200. Don't miss out. Bet smarter today. Firstbet.com.
Braves 0-4. Dodgers going to go 162-0, obviously.
Absolutely.
And so it's Glasnow on the mound tonight for LA. They open up about $190.
How can it be 190? The Braves can't hit. This team's a joke. They're so good. Now, he hasn't pitched since, August, but still. That's
right.
It's just, it's ridiculous how good this team is.
Well, the market agreed with you because it was as high as, minus 250 earlier today?
Well, they're going to take money every game.
Of course they are.
Especially if they keep winning. So that was way too low.
But on the flip side, again, I will say, look, and I know it's the Dodgers, the Braves you can get better than 2-1. The lineup's going to wake up at some point.
Well, okay. But can you hold this offense down too?
And so... Here, I'll talk out of both sides of my mouth here in the span of 30 seconds. Let's pretend here for a second the Dodgers take care of business here. And they have no problem. They sweep the Braves, and Atlanta is in a tailspin to begin the year. Do you remember the year, I think it was 2018, after the Red Sox won the World Series, and Major League Baseball put them on this crazy West Coast trip to begin the year?
First 9 or 10 games, yes.
Yeah, and they just started off, and they were complaining about it, and they were miserable, and they were pissed, and they did not start the year well at all. And that came back to bite them in the ass for the entire year. I don't think they ever rebounded from that.
Well, wasn't that also the Beer and Chickens video games team?
No, that happened in the...
Oh, that was different?
That was like the Adrian Gonzalez team that happened to as well, where they started like 0-6.
Okay.
And that was like, I don't think they
18.
came back.
Okay, 18. Okay,
yeah,
you're right.
They never really came back from that.
Yeah, okay. No, I got to give the Padres credit. I mean,
absolutely,
you're one of 22 with runners in scoring position, and you can't hit. So Padres never been 5-0 before. How about that?
How about a start for Jackson Merrill to the season? There's
a lot of crazy starts. Suarez, Judge, and there's a lot of guys for all the wrong reasons, right? What Devers is doing?
Sure.
Lindor's 0 of 11. Correa didn't have a hit. Buxton was 1 of 12. I mean, a lot of weird stuff going on.
I totally agree. Look at this Brewers team. They trail KC 10-1.
Oh, boy.
Are they fade material every single day? Yeah, again, maybe we're going to learn that these torpedo bats are not that big of a deal at the Yankees.
Right? Yeah, right.
Maybe the Brewers are just absolutely god-awful.
Yep.
I have a bet on them to have the most wins in March and April here at Circa. Good job, Mitch.
Karma refund? Karma committee?
Yeah.
Refund?
Yeah, I joked around about that on X. Because I know the guys here at Circa love that kind of stuff.
Well, you were going to get to this later, but the one thing that did work for the Red Sox, they were 8 of 8 stolen bases against Texas.
I know.
That could be something I'm looking forward to and getting advantage. And your guy was St. Louis, too.
He's got 3 already. Victor Scott does. Bet him earlier today at about plus 456, I think was the number I got on him. So, I mean, he had 93 steals in the minors in 2023. Made a big case for him to lead the league this year. And he's down to like 5-1 now to lead the league at some books. 3's a pretty good start. O'Neal Cruz has 4 already for the Pirates. So, the Reds, by the way, did not have a stolen base in any of the 3 games against the Giants.
That's surprising.
So, with Ellie De La Cruz... And where are my notes here?
You would think he would get one against Texas.
That's the thing, right? If Boston was 8 for 8, you might want to look at guys on the Reds or De La Cruz, but he's also plus 175 to steal a base, which is such a low number. But that's as a result of him having so many stolen bases last year, obviously. So, but this is, for the Yankees and Dodgers to start off like this, baseball couldn't ask for anything better, really. Line them up in the World Series again. Here we go. Seth Greenberg, ESPN, on the program coming up next. Does anybody remaining match up well with Duke?
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.